Artists like Mk.gee are taking over music, and it's mainly because of one emotion: nostalgia. He takes the listener back in time to when they were a child and uses melodies and sounds that they grew up on to make records that sound like this. Today I'll be showing you how it's done. I used a bunch of sounds from Synthmania Volume 2 in the sample you just heard. Be sure to get it for yourself. The first idea I had in mind was to look for an experimental old synth. I used Trop by Calm, shaping warm, warbly synth chords to set the mood. Next, I loaded another instance of Trot to craft the lead melody, letting the synth shine. To create a big spacey sound, I layered in these effects. Then, I recreated the classic VJ guitar synth tones and played them in Synthplant to add a nostalgic blend. To round out this section, I did three things. I added drums from Synthmania Volume 2, manipulated guitar recordings, Arteria synths, and I even took an earlier version of the sample and ran it through multiple fruity granulizers as a transition into the next section. I started the second section with drums from Synthmania Volume 2 to lock in a groove. Using the guitar, I built a bass line, then I layered a synth tone down a perfect fourth to make the sound deeper and more growling. For that signature Mk.gee feel, I play guitar melodies with loose expressive phrasing, what I call squiggly playing. Next, I added textures and one-shots from Synthmania Volume 2 for extra ear candy. Then, I layered in harmonized vocals and more guitar synth tones. I stacked them for a richer atmosphere. I followed this by playing a CP70 electric piano and adding a Moog synth bass. These build the tension before an explosive shift. To push that moment further, I played loudly strummed guitar chords and drops. This leads into a contrasting, drier tone for balance. After that build-up, I complemented that explosive guitar tone with a couple layers of a drier tone. To add subtle variation, I used another instance of the CP70 with different effects to shift the piano's tone. I also put drone synth chords and more textures. Before wrapping up this section, I laid down a piano solo from the CP70 and I have various distorted guitar textures, Foley samples, and a vocal choir creating a cinematic transition. For the last section, I wanted a Jaco Pastorius inspired fretless bass sound blended with PlayStation 2 era dreamlike soundscapes. I used Korg's Wavestation plugin to achieve that dreamlike sound. Alongside that, I used some ambient samples from Synthmania Volume 2 to get that noisy, phasey texture. I added more one-shots from Synthmania Volume 2 and a drum loop to tie everything together. At the end of the sample, I introduced a breakdown. I cut out select Wavestation layers and textures to leave space for the outro. This last section closes with a fretless bass, 808s, nature textures and Foley, guitar harmonics and one-shot pads. This blend of sounds let the sample fade out on a dreamy, immersive note. Nostalgia isn't about the past, it's about the way you shape those sounds today. Here's 3 tips you can use to reconceptualize nostalgic sounds. Learn how to combine vintage synths, subtle guitar tones, and granular processing to create a rich atmospheric sound. This is what a lot of the records we heard growing up did. Doing this with the right sounds will invoke that feeling, and for any synth sounds, textures, and drums, Synthmania Volume 2 has what you need. Next, look at how consistently adding subtle ear candy elements keeps the sample engaging. Sporadic background textures, harmonized vocals, and unique one-shots are all great for this. Just make sure they don't overwhelm the main melody. Finally, layering old nostalgic sounds with modern ones create a rich, dynamic sample that feels both timeless and fresh. This is the type of stuff that makes your samples have nostalgia without sounding dated. Grab your copy of Synthmania Volume 2. It's the first link in the description below. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to learn how to make synth samples, you'll love this video.